I looked around. Men of all ages stood with their eyes staring into the distance. I felt like I was the youngest. I was only 13. I didn't recognize anyone. A man stood next to me with a clenched jaw, and he had sad eyes that were welled with tears. Before I could ask anything, a gunshot broke the quiet. I snapped back to present time, pushed my gun behind my back, and took off into the tall grass. I didn't stop until I got near a tree to crouch behind. I was lost, and then gunshots filled the air. I felt a hand tightly grip on my arm. I tried to jump back, but the British soldier had a tight grip. I jumped awake and realized I had dozed off. I was in my small room in Tennessee where I had just moved from North Carolina. I was still in my 20s when I got elected into Congress. While the War of 1812, I was gaining a well amount of popularity. I had just defeated the Creek Indians and forced them to give up vast amounts of land in Georgia and Alabama. When I was elected president, I knew change was wanted. So for starters, I fired many of the federal employees and replaced them with my own supporters. A lot of people complained, saying I was rewarding Democrats who had helped elect me. From then on, the practice of rewarding supporters with government jobs became known as spoil system. Nicholas Biddle was the president of Mr. Biddle's Bank, which a lot of Westerners, including myself, disagreed with. I always thought the bank was undemocratic and it had too much power because it controlled loans made by state banks. I had always thought that Nicholas used the bank only to benefit the rich. I had just caught a cold and was headed to lie down with some soup when I heard the news. Congress renewed the bank's charter. The bank is trying to kill me, I fumed, but I will kill it. Apparently, while I was doing work, behind my back, 2 Whig senators met with Biddle and started a bill for the bank to renew the charter. And of course, I angrily vetoed the bill. There were 2 reasons behind my veto. I believed the bank was unconstitutional, and it was a monster that helped the rich. One of the 2 Whig senators that were part of the bank's bill was Henry Clay. Henry had pushed the charter renewal bill through Congress in 1832. Also, in 1832, Henry went against me for presidency, but I won by a stunning amount, and since I won, the bank was closed in 1836. The second Whig was Daniel Webster. He convinced Biddle to apply for a renewal early. He believed that most Americans supported the bank. During the election, when Clay and I were against each other, Daniel made the bank a big deal. Daniel was upset when in 1836 the bank got closed. He had always thought that one day I would close down the bank, and I did. While I was president, I made a lot of changes. First, I fired many federal employees and replaced them with my own supporters. After that was the bank war. I had always thought that the bank was too powerful, undemocratic, favored the richer people, and was unconstitutional. So when Biddle wanted to renew the bank charter, I vetoed the bill, which caused the bank to close. And those were only some of the things I did while I was President of the United States.